The mystery of the supersonic airplane, Concorde plane crash. On July 25, 2000, the world witnessed a catastrophic event that not only marked the tragic end of an iconic aircraft, but also forever changed the landscape of aviation. The Concorde, a supersonic jet that had been the epitome of luxury and cutting-edge technology, crashed shortly after takeoff from Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris. The crash claimed the lives of 113 people and shattered the illusion of invincibility surrounding supersonic travel. The Concorde had been in operation for over 30 years, a true symbol of aviation innovation. Designed to cruise at speeds over Mach 2, more than twice the speed of sound, it was the pinnacle of luxury air travel. Passengers aboard the Concorde could reach New York from Paris in under 4 hours, and the aircraft's sleek, futuristic design had made it the dream of many. But on that fateful day, the Concorde's journey would end in disaster, and a long, winding investigation would follow to uncover the cause of the tragedy. The flight's final moments. Air France Flight 4590 was a routine Concorde flight set to depart from Paris to New York's JFK Airport. With 100 passengers, 9 crew members, and 4 cabin crew aboard, the Concorde taxied down the runway, preparing for takeoff. The weather was clear, and the aircraft was fully serviced and ready to go. However, just moments before the Concorde's wheels left the runway, a series of events, each seemingly insignificant on its own, would culminate in a horrific disaster. At this point, the situation seemed inconsequential, as a piece of metal lying on the runway wouldn't normally pose a significant threat. However, as the Concorde accelerated, it struck the debris at high speed, resulting in a tire burst. The rubber debris from the tire exploded outward, hitting the underside of the Concorde's fuselage. A fragment of the tire punctured the aircraft's fuel tank, igniting a fire that would soon spiral out of control. The chain reaction. The fire ignited in the aircraft's left wing, immediately spreading to the engine. The fire quickly weakened the wing and the plane's electrical systems, leading to the failure of the Concorde's thrust reversers. These were critical for slowing the plane down upon landing. At this point, the fire was already consuming the plane's systems, including the hydraulic and fuel lines. The crew was aware of the fire but had no way to combat it effectively in the air. Despite the desperate efforts of the flight crew, the Concorde was unable to gain altitude. As it reached the end of the runway and continued its climb, the flames from the fire caused catastrophic engine failure. The aircraft struggled to stay airborne, and the loss of thrust led to the inevitable. The Concorde was forced into an uncontrollable descent. The crash and aftermath. Unable to continue its flight, the Concorde crashed into the Hotel Tillissimo Hotel in the town of Gonesse, just outside Paris. The impact was devastating, killing all 109 passengers and crew members aboard. 4 people on the ground were also killed, as the hotel was destroyed in the fiery wreckage. The crash site was a scene of unimaginable devastation. The remains of the Concorde were scattered across the surrounding area, and the fireball from the crash engulfed everything in its path. The immediate aftermath of the crash was one of confusion and grief. The loss of the Concorde, an aircraft seen as the pinnacle of aviation, shocked the world. Questions arose, not just about the cause of the crash, but about the future of supersonic air travel itself. What had gone wrong? Why had such a technologically advanced aircraft, one that had flown safely for decades, met such a tragic end? The investigation. What went wrong? The investigation into the Concorde crash was led by the Bureau d'Enquête et d'Analyse, BEA, France's air accident investigation agency. It became quickly apparent that the accident was a result of a combination of factors, all stemming from the piece of metal debris from the Continental Airlines DC-10 that had been left on the runway. The piece of debris caused a tire blowout, and while tire bursts are not uncommon in aviation, the aftermath was far more severe in this case. The rubber fragments from the tire caused significant damage to the aircraft's fuel tank, igniting a fire that ultimately led to the crash. But there was more to the story than just the tire debris. The investigation revealed that the Concorde's fuel tank design was inadequate. The tanks, which were located in a vulnerable area of the aircraft, were not reinforced enough to prevent catastrophic damage in the event of a puncture. This weakness in the design had been a known issue since the early 1970s, but it had not been fully addressed. The BEA's report also pointed to a series of maintenance issues. Concorde aircraft had been in service for over 3 decades, and the increasing age of the fleet had begun to show. There were concerns about the quality of the aircraft's maintenance, and some experts speculated that a more rigorous safety overhaul could have prevented the tragedy. The investigation also noted that while the runway debris should have been removed during regular airport inspections, the situation was exacerbated by the lack of adequate safety protocols. The Concorde's crew, despite their professionalism, were unable to fully respond to the fire in the limited time available. A lack of advanced fire suppression systems, designed to deal with such large-scale fires in flight, made it almost impossible for the flight crew to overcome the flames before the aircraft reached a critical state. The legacy of the Concorde. The crash of Concorde Flight 4590 marked the beginning of the end for supersonic commercial aviation. After the tragedy, the Concorde's operations were suspended, and the aircraft would never fly commercially again. The luxury of supersonic travel, which had once been the dream of the elite, was forever tainted by the crash. The investigation led to changes in aviation regulations. Aircraft designs were re-examined, especially regarding fuel tank integrity and tire safety. The crash also raised questions about the balance between technological innovation and safety. While the Concorde was an engineering marvel, its tragic end highlighted the risks that come with pushing the boundaries of aviation technology without ensuring that the highest safety standards are met. Conspiracy theories and lingering questions. Over the years, many theories have emerged, and conspiracy theorists have speculated on the true cause of the crash. Some believe the incident may have been sabotage, though there was no substantial evidence to support this. Others pointed to the ongoing financial troubles of Air France and British Airways, both of which operated the Concorde. These theories suggest that the aircraft was flying despite its age and the potential safety issues, driven by financial pressures and a desire to maintain prestige. Despite the extensive investigation, questions still linger about the Concorde's legacy and the lessons learned. Could the Concorde have been saved with better technology or a different design? Was there more that could have been done to prevent the crash? Or was it simply a tragic series of events beyond anyone's control? Conclusion: the mystery still lives on. The crash of Air France Flight 4590 remains one of the most significant tragedies in aviation history. And while the investigation revealed key details, the full mystery of what led to the Concorde's demise still lingers. It serves as a powerful reminder that even the most advanced technology can fail when safety, maintenance, and protocol take a back seat to ambition. The legacy of the Concorde, once the jewel of commercial aviation, is forever tied to that fateful day when it tragically fell from the sky, leaving behind a legacy of unanswered questions. According to the AAF, the presentation of the death card from 2003 to 2022, according to the AAF,